gang, welcome to Table Talk, where we talk about your topics and questions on the hashtag Table Talk and the Reddit/r/SourceFed. I'm Matt Lieberman.
I'm DJ Wooldridge.
I'm Trisha Hirschberger.
Yeah.
My name's so long, I usually like to go last because I don't want people to wait for me to say my whole name. Is that weird?
Wooldridge, though. Wooldridge is kind of long, too.
Wooldridge is just a mouthful.
syllables.
It's just
Two syllables.
Yeah.
Two syllables.
Trisha Hirschberger. Yeah.
That's when, my first talent manager when I was in New York City auditioning was like, I think you should seriously consider changing your name because there's too many shishishers.
How do you feel about changing your name?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, well, I thought about names that would, like, mean something to me because I didn't just want to change it to, like, some
what
random
were some
thing.
of the names?
I was like, well, my grandpop's name is Owen, so maybe Trisha Owens. Like, I was trying to come up with something that meant something. And then my middle name is Lynn, so I was like, I guess I could just do Trisha Lynn. And then everyone was like, that's a porn star, Gina Lynn. You're like the porn star. And so I was like, you know what? If Renee Zellweger can do it with her name, Trisha Hirschberger is just fine. And
I don't think that there are any porn stars named Trisha, though. Maybe like Trish, but not Trisha.
I don't know. I'm not as educated.
As soon as I was like, Trisha Lynn, because it's my first and middle name, everyone I know was like, Gina Lynn, the porn star.
It does, I mean, it could be construed as porny. Yeah. It's like, it's round the corner from the porner store.
Yeah,
from the porner store.
Yeah.
But it's too late now. You're already known as Trisha Hirschberger.
I know.
Yeah, so now
Too
that
late.
ship has sailed.
So now there are no
going back.
Speaking of weird names, Molester Moon
Funny.
says, have you ever been super paranoid for no reason? I sometimes think there are cameras in my house, even though there aren't. Well,
I mean, I guess when you're
maybe
like,
because you're a molester.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why there's cameras in your house.
when I was a child, you know, maybe it comes from being around the generation we're around, where like a lot of people know more things than they should because of the internet. You worry that like
I'm paranoid now.
Yeah.
Like now that a few people have recognized me and come up to me, and like most of them have been like the sweetest, nicest people ever. But now
You gotten a creeper yet?
I not like a creeper, but like I had a guy come up to me and he was drunk and he kind of like stuck his finger right in my chest and was like, "You don't know me, but I know you." And now I see ghosts everywhere. I'm like, I'm always looking around, but now I feel like a jackass who thinks that people know him, like some kind of like, it's not like a conceited thing. It's legitimately a fear.
Like you're
you're
paranoid about
petrified
it.
Right, because I'm used to not being noticed.
Right.
Like that's been the lot in life.
Yeah.
I don't like to go out to bars and have one too many drinks anymore because I don't know who's potentially there with a cell phone video camera. And
Right.
like you have to be a little paranoid about that.
Yeah.
Well, I come from the same place where people don't like. I'm used to not mattering, and then I was like at Amoeba the other day, and this kid was like, "Oh, SourceFed," and I had no idea what to do. Like
Well, that happened to you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
That
like,
happened to you a lot at E3 this year too.
Yeah, well, I did. Yeah, that was kind of like people would come up to you and be like, "Oh, Trisha, I want a picture. Oh, and you too. Come in the picture
DJ, I want a
too."
picture with you too.
But but like you and Steve are really good. Like I've seen you interact with fans, and I need to learn how to be like, because it was just kind of this awkward like, hey, so like, what's up? I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with my hands. I don't
Thank you.
know.
How's it going? You like the videos? That's awesome. I'm glad that you like them.
Well, I always go to trying to put into words, and it's hard to put into words, but I always try to put into words for people. Like, I love meeting people that watch our videos. If nothing else, just to put faces with the numbers.
Yeah.
Like, we see the numbers and we know what the numbers are and like what our goals are and that kind of stuff, but it's not until someone says like, do you realize that's a coliseum full of people? Or do you realize that you're like, oh my gosh. And so every time I meet someone, I'm like, you're another one of those people in that coliseum or whatever this is that I'm trying to picture. It makes it human.
And the most amazing thing is like how much it matters to people.
Yeah.
And that like is super gratifying, especially somebody who's still new to it, that it's like that important to people and that they have been welcoming by and large, you know, is the most amazing thing ever. Cause like, you know, it's kind of letting us into their lives and like being a part of that family of people that matter to them.
Yeah.
That's like super cool.
And I've had the opportunity to like really get to know some viewers of the show through either they're people that I hang out with on, you know, when I'm gaming or just online or vlogs or something like that, that I can genuinely be like, I know those people now and I would not have known them if it wasn't for YouTube.
But it's a really weird at VidCon. Like when we went to VidCon last year, because people lost their minds.
This will be your
and to
first
us-
VidCon?
It's gonna be my first VidCon.
Yeah, and to
I'm
us,
not
it's like
Last year was my
prepared.
first. It was crazy.
For the
God.
people on the other side of the camera, it's just, you guys are just our coworkers. You know what I mean? But at VidCon, like, it's like hanging
blow
out with
your
the
mind?
Beatles. It's, you know, and it's like, this is just
And
work.
it's
This
this
is the
this
job.
table talk is gonna air the week of VidCon. So this is it's
Yeah.
it's gonna be happening.
Wow.
Yeah, right then and there.
Yeah, so you'll be able to let us know in the future. You will be able to let us know what it was
See
like
what
for
happens.
You. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what else are we all paranoid of that we shouldn't be
Oh,
paranoid
that's right. That's
of?
what this
Yeah.
was about.
That's the question.
I
From Molester Moon.
Yeah, my girlfriend loves taking pictures and posting them to social media, and she loves taking pictures with me. And
Are you paranoid of Derp Face?
of Derp Face and just like I don't know. I feel like I should be trying to paying attention to like how people are viewing me on the internet, and I've like slacked off recently to the point that last night's Game of Thrones finale, she wanted to post this reaction picture I took of her, but I wasn't wearing a shirt in it.
Yeah.
And it's on the internet. There's now the topless.
Now everyone's
Now you know
doing
to
it.
look for it.
Right.
You're welcome.
Well, because I want everyone to notice my collarbone.
Oh, very good.
No,
Nice
it took years to.
I mean, he wears the vest just to hide the collarbone.
Just to hide the
tease
collarbone.
you.
No, okay. Do you know what makes me paranoid? There was someone on Tumblr who called me a massive cock tease. And now I'm like afraid that like there's someone who is attracted to me but is angry that they can't have me, and maybe that sounds egotistical.
No, I've got news for you. This is the internet. There's
I
more than
know.
one someone.
Yeah.
So
There's
weird.
lots of someones
I'm not
out
used to
there who are
anyone.
mad at you for not having sex with them.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't get it. Cause like I don't know.
Real life.
I mean, how do you like? Did you guys? I became like attractive to the opposite sex maybe in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Like came into my own, became more of an adult, like learned how to have a proper conversation, care about what the other person has to say, have something to bring to the table in every
I know your
aspect,
pain. Yep.
right?
No.
And it only just started to happen.
Yeah.
So like the fact that that's like now a thing is still weird.
Yeah.
It's still weird.
It's always weird. I mean, I'm the same way. I asked out dudes all through school that turned me down. I was that girl that asked out guys and got turned down. So not only was I not getting asked out by guys, I was asking out guys and getting rejected.
Right.
So it took a long time for me before I even realized that like dating people was a thing that someone like me would do. So I mean, it's a shocker, and the internet definitely kind of puts everything under a magnifying glass and like blows it up way larger than one would ever think that it should be.
I think that. Do you think that comes from like people always connect a lot with TV stars because they were letting them in their living room? Is it with internet celebrities? Is it because you're letting them into your lap?
Yeah,
think so.
Your
like,
lap or
right
your
here.
chest or
Yeah.
your face.
Like they're
you know.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the more you choose to reveal about yourself, like if you think about it, someone recently told me online, one of my online viewer friends, told me that it's like, every time you say something about yourself on the internet, like picture that you're meeting a brand new friend for the first time, but also a really old friend that's known you for a long time at the same time. So the things that you're telling them, in some way it's like, hey, let me introduce you to me, and in other ways it's like, dude, you spend an hour with me every day for the past 2 years. That's the relationship that we have here. So if you think about it, I mean, if you spend an hour every day with someone for 2 years, the likelihood for you to develop a crush or a friendship is skyrockets.
It's true.
And the internet like allows that to happen,
feel
especially
very
because
close.
we can communicate back.
Yeah.
Like unlike TV.
Yeah.
That's
That's
true.
true because commentary and all that stuff, table talk. We're commenting on people's comments.
I'm loving
That's
this like
crazy.
meta SourceFed.
Yeah, commenting on ourselves.
But just back to paranoia real
Back
quick.
to paranoia.
Are you guys afraid of cops?
no, I don't. Like, it's weird being in LA.
I'm afraid of all cops.
They like to say on the show all the time that Trisha hates cops, and I legitimately
Is that a thing?
see a police officer
Yeah, we'll get
and
into it.
run
We're
as
going
far in the other direction as I can.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't. Whatever.
I mean, I don't sell drugs or anything. Like, I don't have a reason to.
Well, I am afraid
Why
of
are you
cops.
afraid of cops? Matt?
Because for whatever reason, if I'm driving and there's a cop behind me, even if I'm doing nothing wrong,
Yeah,
I
that's
immediately am
You get tense,
concerned
yeah.
that
That's how
I
I
am
get too.
that I'm breaking the law and I don't even know it.
In some
And
way.
also, I've watched enough stuff with corrupt cops in it
Yeah.
that the idea of the immutable arm of the law that then someone can take into their own hands and then I have no power in the situation
media is
is
really
terrifying.
But here's the thing. You're not, and this is just, I'm not trying to be weird. This is just facts. You live in LA, but you're not black, so that's in your favor. And you're not a goth kid in Tennessee.
Yeah.
So odds are in your favor that you're not.
Oh yeah, I remember once in Newark, New Jersey, we were coming back from a choir rehearsal in high school, and we got lost, and a cop car pulled us over, and we rolled down the window, and he's like, "What are you doing here? Are you like what are you doing here? Come on, I will take you to safety." Actual words.
Wow.
We were not in danger. I will take you to safety.
Yeah.
And he escorted us out of Newark.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
That's spectacular. No, but I think having the cop behind you and you getting a little antsy, that's part of the what they try to engender a little bit.
Oh, I hate that. I hate that.
Just whatever, especially in LA. I mean, like the LA police chief was like a former military guy for a while, so it was run like a military.
I feel like LA cops are a particular brand.
Yeah, they are. They're not good. Like it was one of those I didn't understand until like you look at a lot of media and the vitriol that goes toward cops, and then you move to LA and it's like, oh, I get it.
Right.
Because they're not. It's not good here in that area.
No.
And now I'm on the internet saying that. So.
And that's the
all
thing.
gonna come out.
I don't know.
Although to be fair, I got a ticket for pulling into. It was one of those like you're not. These are the lanes of traffic, and I did this into the movie parking lot, and you weren't supposed to do that. And there was a cop waiting, which is bullshit. It's still a
I've
very
gotten
nice
the illegal
guy.
left ticket before.
He was still a very nice guy, even though the ticket he was giving me was bullshit.
I feel like I get the illegal left ticket. I get the stop sign ticket. But then my place gets robbed and over $5,000 worth of stuff gets stolen. The cops are like, I don't care, it's LA.
Yeah,
And I'm
robbery
like, dude,
happens.
if you got time to give me an illegal left-hand turn ticket, you got time to care about.
But what I was more paranoid about is those stupid cameras on the lights.
Yeah.
Because then
those
there's
are
no,
illegal now.
Because then there's no.
They're
there's
illegal
no,
now?
There's no human element. There's no human element.
Yeah, if you get a camera ticket, you can tear it up and throw it out.
Cool.
That's literally the
Nice.
most concrete definition of law. Like, because literally either you break the law or you don't. There's no like, officer, this was happening. I'm sorry. Like,
There's no
none
leeway.
of that. And I like that. I like
You
leeway.
like that?
I like
Oh, you
human.
like
No,
leeway.
I
You
like
like
leeway. I
leeway.
like being a
Okay.
human being. That's one of the
Yeah.
things I hate most about capitalism. Is since so much of the money goes to the top,
Right.
there's no like jobs for human beings. So whenever you try to call for anything,
Yeah.
it's a robot.
It's true.
And it's like I just need to talk to a person to explain what's going on.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy, it's okay.
Yeah, we're all gonna be replaced soon enough.
Soon enough by machines.
Yeah.
Somebody should probably pick another comment.
All right.
I'm paranoid about people in my house for no reason.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
creepy.
Like I'm one of those girls that there was a YouTube video. It's like what girls think, and it was like a girl washing her face and this like creepy dark figure coming behind her, and then she like real quick wipes off her eyes and there's nothing there.
Yeah.
I'm that person
Yeah.
in my everyday life.
was
And,
kinda like that.
when I'm not looking, like every morning I get up in my new place and I walk by the steps and I always just look because I feel like I'm gonna see the figure of a man standing in my downstairs just
Yeah.
waiting to kill me.
A man standing in your downstairs sounds dirty in the wrong context.
I was worried when I was a kid.
That's why I don't watch scary things because my mind already does that to me without.
I feel like that would actually help you deal with that.
You think?
Scary movies I found more helpful. But anyway, whatever.
Yeah,
there's a window. There's a window.
Ceaseless immersion. You're constantly exposing
you just
yourself
get,
to fear.
You know, and then
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
But there's a window in my parents' house when I was a kid. The bathroom that we kids had, there was a window in it, and it was to the backyard, but it was still like a window right there. And I'm tall, so it's like if there was another person on the other side of that window, like you've got it.
Yeah.
Like you know, and that always tripped me out when I was younger.
I can see that. When I was with a couple girlfriends ago, so maybe 3 years ago, my girlfriend had moved to a new place, and I didn't know where it was, but she gave me like the corner and the relative address, and I walked into the wrong apartment. The door was just open, and it was just this dude in shorts and no shirt, and I'm like, are you her roommate? Because she had a roommate that I'd never met, and he was like, get the fuck out out of here. Who are you? I will call the police. I'm sorry. I'm in the wrong apartment. I am sorry. But like the idea that if you just have an unlocked door, someone could just walk in there.
That's bull. That's on him. He left the door.
That's on him for leaving the door open.
Yeah.
I concur.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
I've never been so scared.
Oh,
Okay. Miscellaneous moon. Didn't we just have a molester moon?
Molester moon.
This is just like a moon
It's like
day,
this. It's like this
man.
weird group of Sailor Moons, but instead of Sailor whatever, it's all whatever moon.
Miscellaneous, molester,
melancholy moon.
Yeah.
hypochondriac moon.
Yeah, this is the Sailor Moon nobody wants to watch.
Yeah. What kind of vehicle do you have? How many miles have you driven it, and where did it take you?
That was a weird. Like, what kind of vehicle do you have? What's the license plate and the VIN number?
Yeah.
No. That actually is a good
Is it
segue from the
hypothetical?
cops question, I feel like, because one of the reasons I'm so paranoid when a cop's following me is because I drive a bright yellow convertible,
I used to
and I
have-
am the biggest cop magnet ever.
Yeah, I used to.
Trisha Hirschberger, cop magnet.
Not in a sexy way, in a I'm gonna pull you over, girl kind of way.
I used to have a red
Also
Monte
not
Carlo.
sexy.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
not
little
good
sexy.
sexy.
A little.
I used to have a red Monte Carlo, and that is when I got the majority of my tickets because it stood out. And now I have a gold car, and what I've learned is that gold cars in LA get the shit beat out of them. I remember the second my car was pristine until the second I entered California, and then I got rear-ended. Of course, the back was full of stuff for moving, so I couldn't see them, and we were right next to a highway exit, so they just booked it onto the highway.
No!
And so my trunk is still jammed shut from since then.
Wait, so you still
But-
have stuff that's you never
I was
moved
able
in?
to get it out. I can get it open. It's just a chore. So I try not to use my trunk. But and then like 2 days later, I saw another gold car. Like I know the place we moved into had somebody else lived there with a gold car like mine with the trunk jammed shut, and like my car has since accrued more damage since living out here. And it's like you look at gold cars and they're all like beat up.
Yeah.
So but at least I don't get pulled over by
Okay.
cops as much.
Alright.
Gold car superstition. What kind of car do you drive, Matt?
I drive an Audi A4. That's
Oh!
and I'm super
I
embarrassed
had a
about it.
midlife crisis
No,
car.
no.
You have way more midlife
Well,
crisis
I mean,
car.
technically, considering when I got it, it was more like a pre-life crisis.
Well, that's mine. Mine was my almost 30 crisis
Okay.
car.
Well, here's the deal, right? I'm super self-conscious of the fact that my family, like when I was like 12 years old, all of a sudden we had money. My dad, he worked on Wall Street, and then all of a sudden he got promoted and was very successful. And I didn't realize that we had money, like really had it, until I went to college and someone pointed it out to me. And I've just always been
interesting.
afraid of coming off as as spoiled or as somebody who had everything. And like, I look up constantly to my friends who never had any money and have always, worked to pay their bills and are 100% self-sufficient, and I'm like, and feel bad about myself
But
for
you
not
work to
being
pay
able.
your bills. You got jobs.
I do, but I for a while I still needed a lot of help, with money. Like even when I was working full time, just because I didn't know how to manage it. I'd never learned. I never had to. There was no on the job training of having no choice. But to learn. So yeah, I have an Audi A4, and it's like the last vestige of when I got a lot of help.
That's nice. I think you should drive to lunch today.
I would.
We'll all get in your car.
Well, that's the thing. It's a nice car that I treat poorly because
Oh, no.
I live out of my car. I don't really get it washed, and this back seat is just constantly full of crap from sketches and shoots and clothes and stuff. I clean out my car maybe 3 times a year, and then it stays
That's
clean
still
for
better than
about
some
2
people.
days.
I get it.
But I mean, I guess it's close to 50,000 miles now, and maybe the longest trips. It took me to Vegas back in 2010, and when I was with another ex, when I went up for that Christmas to her parents in Folsom. It was
Oh, wow.
a 6-hour drive in that car.
I'm trying. What's the longest trip my car's been on? It's probably Vegas. My car, it's a yellow Mitsubishi Eclipse Spider, and it's very.
Put it in your notes, kids.
It's very sporty and very yellow and very happy and very me. And I got it like an idiot when I was waiting tables. So I'm waiting tables full time In no way, shape, or form should I have purchased this car. It was very out of my price range. But I got to a point where I was like, whatever, I'm gonna be 30 in a few years, and I don't have a mortgage or a husband or kids. I'm gonna spend my money on what I want, you know? My acting career, I haven't had an Oscar yet. I'm gonna have a nice car. And I agreed to purchase a car that I'm still paying off.
That's how they get you. My car actually took me from Florida out here.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah, we stopped in New Mexico on the way. Went through Texas, which guess what? There's not a lot in Texas. Went through Oklahoma, same thing, except the roads are shittier. Oklahoma City is the sketchiest place I've ever been.
Interesting.
Yeah, like literally,
Oklahoma's
I'm pretty sure there was a stabbing that happened right outside of our hotel room.
Did you see Real Tumbleweeds?
Yeah.
That's what I remembered about Oklahoma.
Well, going to Texas.
That's
Going to Texas, we were actually going to go stay at a friend of my buddy's place that we'd never been to, and it was like out in the boonies, and it was dark, and there was nothing. And it was one of those like, this is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We're gonna break down, like, and one of those like, oh, gas is running low. We'll just hit the next gas station.
Oh no.
Yeah, and it's one of we made it, but then when the sun came up, the neighborhood was beautiful. It was just in the middle of nowhere, so there was no lights. But anyway, stopped in Vegas, stopped in New Mexico, which is gorgeous, and then ended up here. Yeah. So it took me all the way across the country.
How many days did that drive take you?
We stopped in Roswell too. That was fun.
Cool.
Yeah, it was probably over a week. Just because we stopped places and stuff.
I did the drive from Pennsylvania to California in 5 days.
Nice.
And I stopped at the Grand Canyon for a few hours.
We stopped at the Grand Canyon too. That was beautiful. I went on a trip to the Grand Canyon when I was in high school, and my friends were so stupid they decided to climb over the railing to get a better view, like dumbasses. Thank God none of them died.
Oh God.
What? I forget what the statistic is, but people die there every year.
Because it's windy and you'll just get sucked down into
Well,
it.
and a lot of the canyon doesn't have a railing, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
But you always have those ding dongs that need to go right up to the edge and look over.
Well, and it's one of those. You go back to
Death.
being paranoid. I was always one of those kids. I was never one of those kids that didn't like. Oh, that won't happen to me.
Right.
You know who believes that it won't happen to them? People that it happens to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't need to, this is good. Where I'm at is good.
That's all I was. I was like, I'm gonna stay right back here. This is lovely.
You know?
There's video of me, my family, we took a trip up to the Catskills in New York State when I was like 7. And my mom and I hiked up to this cliff.
Yeah.
And my mom walks right up to the edge to like take pictures and like take video, and I'm like 15 feet back freaking out.
Mama Lieberman,
like,
no!
That, just like, Mom, you're gonna die. Please don't die. Please don't leave me alone. We're up like 10,000 million feet is the actual thing that I said.
So what we're realizing now is these three nerds at this table do not take daredevil chances.
No, not for
likely.
pictures.
Nope.
No.
Not worth it for pictures.
It's not worth it for a picture. Let someone else take it.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, did everybody pick a topic?
I didn't pick a topic, but I'm kind of worried about
should
where
do
we're running
that.
on time because I feel like we've gone on
Long
for a very
one.
long
Let's
time.
do a long one.
We're having fun talking to each other, so pick one last
Okay,
topic.
all right.
Do
All
it.
right, I'm gonna pick a topic.
Owen hates us.
Do
I
it,
tried.
Rosabella.
What is the one life lesson you want to teach to your kids or wish was taught to you?
Oh my God, there's so many.
So many. One thing that I wish we'd done more in my family, and that I think I would talk to my kids about, is the power of emotional health and being real with each other and not hiding anything from your kids. Not necessarily like, exposing them to everything terrible about the world, because why would you do that? But like, one thing I would say is empathizing with other people and understanding where they're coming from, their point of view, and what their life must be like is the most valuable skill you can possibly have. Because even if you don't agree with a person, or they seem like a jerk, or they're making your life a hell, you don't know what their life is like. And ultimately, being angry at them or lashing out at them, or wasting time being upset, instead of thinking about what their life might be like, the things you're lucky to have, and that you may be in a better situation than that person, you're not only not wasting time, you're in a healthier emotional place.
Yeah.
100% yes. That's something that I wish I learned a lot earlier.
And it's like infinitely, like for anyone who's like frustrated in terms of like relationships or that because they can't get with the person that they have a crush on or something, really think about what the signals are that they're throwing you and what kind of person they are and what kind of person you are.
Yeah.
And the fact is, if they're not treating you with respect, and if they aren't obviously giving you emotional openness, they may not be that person for you. And that's okay. Understanding that that's okay and that someone else could come along is also something I wish I'd known years ago.
Yeah.
Having the ability to kind of pull yourself out and look at things objectively and be self-aware and be empathetic all at the same time could have saved everyone. I think could have saved so much heartache and so much. Because I mean, when it comes to, like I was going to say in regards to bullying, I would have loved to know that, like, when people are picking on you, it's more about them and where they are, what emotional state they're in, than it is about you.
Yeah.
And yes, words can hurt, but take it with a grain of salt and try to think of where they're coming from.
Right.
Like you
It's
said.
not even something necessarily that's wrong with you. It's something that they can't handle in themselves.
Well, yeah, it's something they perceive as being wrong with you. And why do they perceive it as being wrong with you?
Where is that coming from?
Where's that coming
Instead
from?
of blaming yourself for something that you might not be able to change.
I agree with that. Yeah, I think especially like living in LA, you in America, but LA specifically, you have a culture that's very me-centric, and it's good to try and understand where the people are coming from and why they believe what they believe, and because nobody wakes up being like, I'm gonna be a dumbass today, or I'm gonna be a jerk, and also understanding that you are the bad guy in somebody else's story.
100%.
Yeah.
And you try your best to try to mitigate that as best you can, but you're not things we have as people is like, I'm a good person. Probably not.
I'm a good
Or
person
at
and
least
people
not
are
always.
mean to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's
When
one of
people
those
get
like,
very like victim,
if
when they
you've given
victimize
away everything
themselves.
you've owned to feed the homeless, you're probably a good person. Other than that, you're probably more selfish than you'd like to admit to yourself.
Right. I mean, there's a line in Justified, which is a great show. You wake up in your morning and you meet an asshole, you met an asshole. You wake up in the morning and everyone you meet are assholes,
You're the asshole. I love it.
I think if I were to relay something to my kids, I think it would probably be that. But I think one thing that my dad always relayed to me that I appreciated was he's like, always remember three things. You're never too far away. Like I can come get you. You can always come home and know that you're always loved. And that was always the bit. Like it was always one of those that like remember those. And I think that's something I would try to pass on to my kids.
That's
You know what I
great.
mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that. My dad always just his thing that always made me laugh so hard was I'd say, I'd come home and be like, kids are picking on me, and he'd say, well, what are they saying? And I'd say, they say I have a crush on this boy and they're being mean to me, like when I was real little. And my dad would say, well, is that true? And I'd say, yeah. And he's like, well, then why do you care? Why do you care if they're talking about it? And like it made me think all the time, like the things that I thought were the biggest deal. Like he was like, who cares what people say about you? Your life and what's happening and what's reality are important. So forget what everybody else is saying. That's gossip. It's irrelevant.
Yeah. If you're not actively harming anyone, there's nothing wrong.
Yeah.
If you're living a life where you're happy and you're not hurting anyone in the process to do it, then you're okay. Yeah. All right. I think that's
So that's what we would tell our kids.
That's a great note to end on.
If any of us had kids right now.
Right, which we don't.
No,
yet.
thankfully.
Yes.
But DJ's engaged, so he's the closest
He's working
to
on it.
having kids.
Oh yeah.
Nah, relatively speaking.
I have 4 of them.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching Table Talk today. If you want to join in on the conversation next time, you can do that on Twitter via #TableTalk or on reddit.com/r/SourceFed. I'm Trisha Hirschberger.
I'm Matt Lieberman.
And I'm DJ Woldridge.
This was a nice talk, guys.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Cheers. Imaginary cheers.
Yeah.
Clink.
Cheers.
Clink. I like you guys. We should hang
I like
out
you too.
more.
We should do this
Yeah.
more often.
Oh, guys, happy hour? Can we go get happy hour after work?
We can.
Sushi and
do it.
drinks.
I'm down
it's
for
half
that.
price. It's down the street.
But then we can't all pile in my yellow car. The cops will come after us.